Y'all, we are now live on IG and we are live on YouTube and Facebook. The camera is there, but I'm looking at the computer, which is here because we're gonna have questions rolling on the computer. I'm hopeful we're gonna have questions rolling on the computer, and we're trying a new setup. We've got a mic on the phone, like an external mic, so hopefully that helps. We're also doing live at 5 on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. So hopefully that is a positive for y'all as well. We got Rigel in the building. That variable is still likely going to be in existence.
Yes,
so
it is. This is our life, and if you don't like it,
yes.
bye.
So we're gonna have Raiji, and then hopefully he'll be cool more often than not and not fussy. So he'll still be in the lives, but hopefully the new day change on Tuesday will be better for y'all. And we're going to refine and kind of polish the format for how we do this going forward. We're going to be more proactive in having themes and questions, gathering questions in advance so we can have a more structured live at 5. They'll probably all still be between 20 and 30 minutes long. We've had some that have gone further. While we're letting people jump on, let's look at what Rigel's eating right now.
I just got these today, and they're so good.
We got some Epic brand beef and beef liver bites with sea salt, grass-fed beef. We have per package 230 calories, 12 grams of fat, 4 grams of carbs, 25 grams of protein. Ingredients consist of beef, beef liver, sea salt, black pepper, onion powder, cultured celery powder, and garlic powder. So that's what Rigel is chowing down on.
He just had a whole pack of seaweed. He loves seaweed. Yeah. I just bought him those little pouches today.
Rigel's not doing meat and bricks. I am doing meat and bricks. A lot of people are doing meat and bricks. So I wanted to kind of start off the discussion with what is meat and bricks. So meat and bricks was actually coined by Danny Vega and I 3 or 4 years ago.
4. Yeah.
Probably 4 years ago now. And we called it originally 2 pounds in a brick because our macros at the time were such that we could pretty much nail them by eating 2 pounds of meat and a brick every single day. And we did that for months. Our bodies responded very well to it. And then we realized that a lot of other people were doing it as well. So rather than limiting it to 2 pounds in a brick, because some people may not need that much or that little, we just started calling it meat and bricks. And then Adam joined forces with us, and he built out a website called Meat and Bricks, and we did that. We did like a little challenge. That website's no longer live, but the Meat and Bricks is, and we have continued that. And a lot of people do carnivore during the month of January. It's kind of like World Carnivore Month. It's going on right now, where you pretty much just eat exclusively meat. Coming out of the holidays, that's a great way for people to remove variables, get their diet cleaned up, remove decision fatigue by simply removing those variables and prioritize the most nutrient-dense food on the planet, which is quality sourced meats. However, a lot of people, when they go strict carnivore, they don't eat enough dietary fat because they're just simply grabbing oftentimes lean protein sources, fish, chicken, leaner cuts like that. And if you drastically reduce your dietary fat and you remove all the carbohydrates, your overall calories are going to obviously drop. And if you're fat adapted and you're not consuming enough fat, your energy levels and your hormone function is going to decline as well. So one of the ways I kind of like to hedge against this is simply eating a brick every single day in tandem with the meat I'm consuming. If I'm eating a full brick a day plus whatever meat, then I can feel pretty confident that my protein and dietary fat needs are getting met. Plus, you still take advantage of all the benefits of reduced decision fatigue and just streamlining the nutrition and convenience factor that carnivore provides, because it doesn't really get any easier than eating a brick every day.
I think Rigel's enjoying looking at himself.
You got a runny nose, buddy.
Oh, yeah. We're still getting over a cold.
So we are doing meat and bricks throughout the month of January. Greg, who I think is probably on here, shout out if you're on here, Greg. He kind of just totally led the tip of the spear on this. I pretty much do meat and bricks by default every day anyways. But he's like, hey, let's put out some graphics. Let's get people on board. Let's make it a thing. And he did. He made some awesome graphics. He's doing meat and bricks. He just did a big grocery haul video, and he stocked up on all kinds of food. I saw some salmon fillets. I saw some ground bison, ground beef, chicken. bricks, of course, some carnivore snacks, some carnivore bar. I mean, he's stocked up, and he's actually coming into town on Friday, so we're gonna spend some time together this week,
eating some meat and bricks.
eating some meat and bricks. But all that to say, I think meat and bricks is, and I'm obviously going to come across as sounding a little bit biased because I own the Keto Brick Company, and people eat meat and bricks. They're obviously buying bricks. But I truly do eat this way pretty much every single day. I have eaten a brick every single day throughout the prep, got down to sub 4% body fat, eating a full keto brick every day, and it works pretty freaking well. The bricks are the highest source of stearic acid. Cacao butter, which are the main ingredient in the bricks, is the highest source of stearic acid, which has a ton of benefits. That in tandem with the quality nutrition in the meat, and you cannot go wrong. So let's open up the conversation for some meat and bricks talk and whatever else y'all would like to chat about. We got any questions on the IG? We got a lot of people jumping on here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Rigel. What's up? Hello from Cincinnati. Hey, Science Crew. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to all y'all. Keto Greg is in the building. Keto Theo, what's up, man? Your voices slow down occasionally. Could be the connection. Huh. That is interesting. Carnivore and keto bricks. Do you think eating carnivore needs more fat versus keto? Yeah. So a lot of people, like kind of what I said earlier, when they go carnivore, they stick with what they know, which is oftentimes chicken breast, salmon, any type of fish or seafood is going to be pretty lean for the most part. Venison's going to be very lean. Bison's pretty lean. A lot of people get the leaner grinds of beef, so like 90-10, 95-5. Those are all going to be super lean. So if you're not adding ample dietary fat to that, whether it comes from the keto brick or just pure fat sources like butter, olive oil, avocado oil, duck fat, lard, ghee, then yeah, you're definitely not going to be consuming enough dietary fat. What's up, Dakota? Gail Strength goes in the building. Dallin, what's up, man? The GOAT. All right, so we made it through all the hellos and howdies. Josh Irwin's on the YouTube here. Happy New Year. What's up, Josh? How are you, brother? Or John, my bad. Not Josh. What am I thinking? John Irwin. So yeah, let's open up the conversation. Any questions that you'll have on meat and bricks? You can make it as complicated as you want and track out all the macros to the T, or you can be as intuitive as you like and just simply eat bricks and meat, which is pretty much as easy as it gets. What brick flavor are you using for meat and bricks? So when I was in my prep, I pretty much ate exclusively chocolate peanut butter cup and Bell's brownie. Every once in a while, I'd work a different flavor into the mix, but that was pretty much the bulk of my brick consumption. So I'm kind of getting a little bit more lax and just eating whatever flavor I want, as long as I am tracking the macros, because I am still tracking the macros throughout the reverse diet.
So when we getting a hunt in?
We need to hunt. Deer season closes at the end of February for bow season, so hunting season is pretty much over for this season. But I'm going to be doing a lot of hunting at the end of this year for sure.
Rigel and I are going to be very sad, so I'm going to plan a lot of family to come visit me at the end of 2024 because Robert's pretty much going to be gone.
I'm going to be hunting a lot. Grass-fed versus grain-fed advantages for meat and bricks. So the whole grass-fed versus grain-fed discussion gets a lot of uproar. Here's my take on it. From an omega acid, from an omega fat standpoint, from an amino acid standpoint, there's not a massive difference because grass or grain-finished cows are still eating grass like 70 to 80% of their life. So the bulk of their muscle tissue is built on grass. However, they are finished on grain. That's when they get a lot of fat, and any impurities in that finishing is going to be stored in the fat. So yes, you're better off getting a grass-finished animal than a grain-finished animal. That's going to be leaner, so you're going to want to probably have more dietary fat with it. But honestly, my main argument for going more grass-finished as opposed to grain-finished isn't so much the nutrition aspect of it as it is just the overall system in and of itself. I am not a fan of the conventional beef as a commodity system. I don't really like supporting it. I don't like voting with my dollar by purchasing it. So that's why I've tried to shop local for all of my meat needs. And that's why we're starting to do a lot of the homesteading, because I don't want to play into the commodity beef system that is always going to finish their cattle on grain, because they're trying to get the highest yield weight that they can. And they're going to be able to do that if they're churning them out faster, pumping them full of hormones, and finishing them on grain. So that's kind of my take on that.
Hey,
I'm doing a lot of talking, baby.
I just had it on the perfect one.
Oh, sorry. Feel free to jump in and talk on this, baby. What is the percent fat on carnivore versus keto more than 70% like keto? What?
I think it depends on the individual. A lot of people who are carnivore don't track macros. They think, oh, I don't have to track macros because I'm just eating meat. Because I'm just eating meat. And for some people, they can intuitively eat and eat plenty. But there's a lot of people that come to us who are eating carnivore, which is great. But then they're eating 12, 13, 1,400 calories, which is just not enough. And a lot of times it's because they're just shoveling down a lot of protein and just not eating enough fat, which is, I believe that keto and carnivore are different. Like, I don't think that they're usually, I mean, yes, they're going for like a similar goal, like anti-inflammatory, things like that. But like, I think that they, a lot of times it's not the same thing. You know, a lot of people go keto and then they go carnivore, which is a lot of times I see that people don't have enough fat just because they aren't eating fatty cuts. And then also they don't want to be like just nibbling on butter, you know? So it's like,
yeah,
that's usually what I see.
Alyssa could come in. Yeah, she could do some hunting. Keto Greg says my first day.
He's not talking about her going hunting.
Oh, hanging out with you. My first day of carnivore and keto breaks yesterday was eye-opening. I felt more satiated than I ever have, and could have probably stopped at about half the calories. It was awesome. Yeah, here's the thing. When you eat a lot of really well-absorbed, bioavailable food, your body recognizes that. Whereas if you're eating a ton of fiber, that's going to hinder the absorption of that nutrition. You may eat more volume, but you're not going to feel as satiated. So that's a huge factor as well. Yeah, let me get this real quick. I started too mad today. Feel amazing. It was naughty last week. I was naughty last week. Yeah, a lot of people were pretty naughty over the holidays. Keto Greg, I totally agree. I started yesterday also. Today I had pork belly, ribeye, and PB cup. Keto breaks, super satiating. Are y'all tracking or are y'all just rocking it intuitively? I'm curious. I'm going to do carnivore days, but not sure I'm ready for 24/7. Rip the Band-Aid off and rock and roll. I have to add more magnesium when I go carnivore, so I'm fine with 70%. But should I add more fat and cut back on protein? You can definitely overdo the protein if you're doing like carnivore and you're not getting enough fat and the ratios are off. If you're getting too much protein relative to fat, and this is another point of contention, but I don't know why it is, because it's pretty obvious. If you're getting too much protein relative to fat, it will affect your body's ability to metabolize fat. It will also affect your blood sugar levels. It can affect your sleep. There's a lot of variables at play here, but when I do a whole bunch of protein relative to fat, I don't sleep as good. My blood sugar is elevated, and I just don't feel optimal. I don't have as much energy. So, yeah, that's a factor for sure.
I think a lot of people, I think it's totally individualized too. Like, that's a really big thing that you guys need to, like, you know, figure it out for your own body, because also too much protein can be inflammatory for some people. Like, it can actually make you feel more swollen. It can make your joints a little bit more sore because, and I don't want to say it's maybe too much protein, but just not enough fat or not enough, you know, of an energy source. But that is a thing, and I'm not a anti-carnivore person. I think it's fantastic, but I think some people do it to try to fix themselves, and then they're like, this is the diet that's supposed to help with everything, and it's not helping. But I think there's just like some things that you can kind of like mix and match to try to like optimize it for yourself. So there's some ideas that we're sharing here.
Let me get some of these YouTube ones knocked out. I've been struggling with bouts of IBS for years. Recently ordered a microbiome test. It showed overabundance of one neutral bacteria, which can be indicative of SIBO. Bloating is bad after some food. Yeah, I actually just recorded a pretty involved podcast on gut health. I think that one will be going live actually later this week. So I would definitely give that a listen. But there are so many things that can impact the gut microbiome. And if you are having certain foods that are irritating that, you'd probably benefit from removing those for a bit.
I'm not sure which one you ended with over here. Magnesium one?
Yeah. Rigel is very excited about it too. Rigel's excited about everything.
Yeah. And then someone said, wow, he's growing up quick. Yes, he is.
Still trying to find something that cures bloating and constipation. Keto bricks definitely helped in the past to smooth things along, but bloating is still an issue on keto. Would you recommend?
I have that. Are they carnivore or are they just keto? So I don't, like, my whole story was I started keto because I have gastroparesis and slow transit colon. So it's like everything in my digestive system works really, really slow. And I essentially like have healed myself through eating this way. But I'll tell you what, it took a lot of adjustments and finding what foods worked well for me. Sometimes, like, I don't know how many vegetables you do. Sometimes it's the vegetables. Sometimes I will just have it like once or twice a week. Things like nut butters and nuts, I just had to completely cut out. And it all took time too. Like I slowly cut these things out. I think it was like right before I had him, or maybe during my pregnancy or something. That's when I cut out nuts because I just felt like it made me bloated. I felt inflamed. So just like things little by little, you'll want to just try to figure out for you what it is. If I have steak too many days in a row, my stomach is upset. I am really prone to constipation. So magnesium is something that I have in my diet regularly. I'll put it in my tea or something at night. So you have to figure out what it is for you, but look at the things that inflame other people. Even you can do keto, because I do keto. I don't do carnivore. I do keto, but I don't have to have all those other things that other people have, if that makes sense. So I would really try to focus on you and your body. Look at the things that can be inflammatory or can be can irritate things like SIBO and bacteria. But you will figure it out. It might take you time, but you will figure it out. You don't have to be keto or you don't have to be carnivore. You can figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Pete says, I am carnivore and eat about 130 or so grams of protein and 200 plus grams of fat. Still insulin resistant. Hopefully will lose fat soon. Yeah, and there's also a benefit from modulating your intake. Like you don't necessarily want to just hold a certain macro intake constant at all times. There's periods of times where you're going to benefit from being in a surplus, periods of time when you're going to benefit from being in a deficit. You don't want to be in either indefinitely. So there's that.
Hey, Savage Bam. I am doing intuitive eating at the moment. Jen says, I'm tracking for sure some days, but others are more intuitive. Greg says, I am tracking with mine, nailing macros and coming in around 3,000, 3,100 total calories per day.
Nice.
Apple cider vinegar before you eat helps bloating considerably. Depends on who you are. If you have bacterial issues, or if you have ulcers, or if you have any kind of erosion in your stomach because of your digestive issues, like me, I could probably do it now, but there was a point where apple cider vinegar set my stomach on fire. And I kept doing it thinking, this is supposed to help. They say this is supposed to help. Didn't help. So it really depends on the individual, but it can be really helpful for digestion.
Is that my old sweater?
This?
Yeah. No.
It was my grandpa's old sweater. My wife and I are huge fans of drinking exogenous ketones without having to do the hard diet. Do you guys complement the keto diet with drinking ketones?
All right. So you're not really going to get the benefits fully of ketones if you're not really following the diet and only having the exogenous ketones. Yes, the exogenous ketones can still be used as an energy source, and they are going to cross the blood-brain barrier, and you can still benefit from them, but you're kind of cutting yourself short by not being fat adapted via the diet and also doing the ketones. And you got to ask yourself, why are you doing these exogenous ketones? You're doing it for anti-inflammatory properties, satiating effect of them, energy needs. There's different reasons that different people benefit from circulating ketones, but you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck if you're taking those in tandem to actually follow the diet.
Crystal, what type of magnesium do you use and how much? So all of my supplements come from he's so cute, you can't say no. So they all come from Allie Miller. If you guys don't know her, she has the company Naturally Nourished. And so I get all of my supplements, including my magnesium, from her. This is a magnesium that is called Relax and Regulate. So I usually take it in the evening. It does not make you want to poop yourself. That's a big thing with certain magnesiums. It will help you to regulate. So in the morning, your bowels will be ready to rumble, but it's not crazy. If you guys are interested in any of her supplements, you can use the code SAVAGE if you want to. I don't usually use a whole. Code? I do. Well, it's our code, but I don't usually share codes, but that's literally the only supplement company I use, and I have trusted her for years. That's what I used in my entire pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, post-pregnancy, for everything, and I'm literally not deficient in anything. So, so I wholeheartedly believe in it, which is why it's like the only company I really have a discount code with. So,
all right, let me get some of these knocked out. Wait, did I get this one already?
I changed
to. We did that one?
No, we didn't.
I changed to carnivore 3 years ago. My insulin levels are low. Any protein over 20 or 30 grams at a time spikes my glucose because I feel my body is. Changed to carnivore 3 years ago. Gained 30 pounds, and my glucose spikes with higher protein now. Trying to go back to keto. Crystal, what are your carb macros? I'm female.
I used to keep it around like 20, but when I became pregnant, I started increasing to about 30, 35. I don't make it to where like I have to have 30 or 35. Like there's some days where I have like 10, and there's other days where I have 35. But I don't try to be like super crazy with it, but I do try to keep it like below 35 for sure.
All right, did we get all the ones on IG?
I have one over here. They requested to be in our live. I think maybe not today.
Not today. We
do want to have guests. I guess he will not even be here. I was thinking Greg could be on there next week, but he won't be here.
Yeah, but we are going to start. It's one of the things that we're going to roll out with these lives.
You guys should message Live Savage on Instagram and tell us who you would like to see on our lives. Like if you want us to interview them, or if you want us to get them on here and just chit chat or whatever, you guys can ask questions or whatnot. And we will do our best to get those individuals. And then also we're still looking for some topics. I'd love to have 52 topics. I'd love to have those nailed down so that we can just upload those and you guys are set to go. So
yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our live today. We've gotten through all the questions. We're going to take this munchkin home, get him something to eat, get us something to eat. It's going to be meat and brick related, and it's going to be good. But yeah, I'm super excited about the new lives. We have more people on than we did last Wednesday, so that's a plus.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan or Sean Baker.
Might be a little hard. Sean Baker, we might be able to get him.
I've had Sean Baker on the podcast a few times.
Yeah, but that's the podcast. It's different on a live. But we'll do our best to get him on.
Yeah. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate all y'all. Excited for 2024. What all it's going to bring to the table. We got some exciting things with the businesses, exciting things with life, exciting things with Live Savage and the homesteading. Hope all y'all's 2024 is off to a great start. And we will talk to y'all very soon. Ta-ta for now. Much love.
Adios, amigos.
Bye,